I'm not gonna lie, if this thing still had the spikes on it, we would definitely go down to the field right now just for shits and giggles and see if the 1800 would pull it. But it doesn't, so we can't. But anyhow, we're gonna start putting this thing, hopefully get this thing put all the way back together today. Spent all morning working on the 1955, chasing down my electrical issue. Finally got it solved. Turned out underneath the, right over here on the floor pan, there's a hydraulic line, and the wire harness comes out from under the dash and goes back underneath you to the fenders. And one of the clamps that holds that hydraulic line had broke and let the hydraulic line slide over, and it jammed the wire harness between that line and the frame and rubbed a little hole in the wire harness. So it took me a minute to find it, but I found it and we got that sorted out. So now I got lights again. Well, that's done. Oh, the other thing that I wanted to mention right here at the beginning before I lose everybody's attention, because that's how it works. My buddy Dylan, who I've mentioned before, has the IH plow parts. He started himself a little YouTube channel, based more for himself in helping with his sales than anything else, but he's got some cool information there. And he was nervous about it, but he's actually damn good at making videos. He is putting together kind of like the history of early international plows, identification, parts identification, stuff like that. Like I say, it's mostly informational stuff to help him. If he gets somebody that doesn't know what they got, he can refer them to a video, say, here, watch this, and then we can work together, figure out what you got. But if you're interested in learning about the history of early IH tillage stuff, go check him out. Number 8 plow Dylan Lynch. I'll put a link down below so you can go check him out. But like I say, he was nervous about it, but the first 2 he's put up so far, he's actually done a really good job editing them together. So it helps that he has, like, most of the stuff he's talking about he physically owns, so it's easy for him to get pictures and stuff to put together a little video there. But anyhow, that was the 2 things I wanted to talk about right off the bat. So let's go put this thing together. I really wish it had points on it, because I mean, it's got the duals, it's got the weights. I bet she'd pull it without the disc gang on there. Because I think it was an option to order this as just a straight chisel plow without the disc gang. I'm pretty sure. But I'm going to take this down, get it set up, take all this stuff, get it down there, and we'll catch you guys here in a minute. Alright, I got 2 5-gallon buckets of parts I still got to bring up yet, but those can come up in a minute. So got my wings up here, my disc gangs up here, my rack shaft up here. Also, I didn't, because I like dealer stickers, I didn't even notice these on there when I picked it up, and the one back here is easier to read. It's not as sun faded. Central Illinois Ag since 1898 apparently. Atlanta, Clinton, Farmer City, Mason City. Apparently where it came from new. Haven't had a chance to look up yet, see if that dealer's still in business, but I doubt it. They've probably been bought out and turned into some conglomerate. Maybe somebody probably recognizes it. But anyhow, when we took this thing apart, first we dropped the disc gangs first, took the rock shaft out, and then took the wings off. Well, that was kind of a pain. And the more I thought about it, the more it's like it makes sense to put the rock shaft in first. That way it's a straight shot, because with the wings on here, you've got your frame extension that comes all the way out here to catch the rock shaft. Well, you take that out, all of a sudden you can work clear back here with plenty of room to spare. So rock shaft's going to go in first, and then I'll put the wings on, and then we can bolt the rock shaft all in, put the cylinder on, and hang the gangs last, in theory. All right, rack shaft is in, it's sitting in its saddle. I can't put this bracket. It was some homemade, not fitting right, didn't even pull up tight piece of crap. So I gotta get the part number out of the book and see if I can get a new saddle for here. The ones on the ends are correct, just this one was wrong. So I gotta see if I can get a new one of those coming. I need that U-bolt, and then all 6 of the pins that pin the gangs to the rock shaft. I need those as well. But this was the hardest part, getting that fish back in there. When they did it at when they were doing it probably at the dealer setup, all that probably went on before the wishbone, so you just walked up and set it on there. You didn't have to do the whole turning and flopping springs and blah blah blah. But so now we can start putting wings on, so I gotta go get my bucket of bolts. All right, there she be. I've only got the gangs hanging from one pin per side right now because there was only 2 pins on it to begin with. Somebody had stuffed a bunch of too long. The other 4, somebody had stuffed bolts in that were too long, and it's not supposed to be bolts anyhow. It's supposed to be pins. So that's what's holding those up for the moment. And that, obviously, that center carrier is not put in because this was the homemade piece of crap they had in there that wasn't shaped right, and that's why the whole mounting holes are all egged out and it's torch cut and not bent very square, and it's just garbage. These are all U-bolts for the buster bar that's not going back on. I'll pull the brackets or the brackets off eventually. So yeah, now comes the fun part. Rebuild the main cylinder. This one doesn't look like it's been leaking. This one looks like it'll go for a while. Put all new shovels on it, get new pins for the gangs, get that bracket, put that back together, get that U-bolt, get the tongue loosened up, get it slid back against those stops, and get the center pulled back in where it belongs against those stops. Tighten the wheel bearings and grease it, and possibly worry about the lights. This wiring harness is all sorts of jacked up. I'm just gonna cut it off. Cut it off and start over again, because it's been spliced together and it's garbage. I'm probably gonna cut it off here yet tonight before I put it away. It doesn't even have a plug. I thought it still had the 7-pin plug on it, but it doesn't. It's just it's junk. There's no point in trying. Is this even? Oh, that bunch isn't even hooked to anything. It's just there. This isn't doing any, I don't even know why. Unless that, oh, I bet that at some point ran across over to there and somebody just tied it up here. I wonder if you can just buy a wiring harness that uses those plugs. Oh. Well, it's all broke right there. That's the plug I need, but the wiring, the jacket on the wires is all... Yeah, this wire is not even worth trying to... It should have been in a loom to protect it from UV rays, but it wasn't. Alright, wiring harness is stripped off of it. That was a mess. The other thing I have to do is go through on all the shanks, and I don't know why it's so stinking hard, but you got all these shear bolts that are like, why those there that are way too freaking long. Part of the shear strength in these is you pull them up tight so they're not flopping around, so this is just dumb. But you got those are good. I think that one, those are at least tight. And I need to go through and check and make sure all those bolts are at least tight and mostly correct. I think that's really it. I mean, it's not terrible. It's a chisel plow, it only needs so much. But while it's still sitting here, I'm gonna grab the power washer and blow it off real quick, mostly the cylinder or cylinders. That way, I know for a fact I gotta work on that one, but just clean the crap off of it real quick so that when I pull them cylinders off, they're clean. All right. Go up and park this thing, so I'm done with it for the day. 16 foot wide seems like a lot. Plus, I guess that being said, it's only a foot wider than the... Well, I'll take that back. It's probably about as wide as the soil finisher is folded up. Once you figure on the the shanks hanging out, because it's, you know, vertical fold. Alright, we're gonna leave it right here, and so that it's ready to go for tomorrow. When I pull the cylinder off, we're going to pop that depth stop. See if that's enough. It looks like it's got the linkage slack. Oh yeah, we're good right there. So, I don't know if it's necessary to put the jack down or if it's sitting there on the coat. Alrighty, that was the hard part, so it's all downhill from there. Bring the forklift up tomorrow so I can throw a strap around that cylinder. Just the way it's hanging in there, it's not going to be friendly to lift out vertically like that. And we'll get that off to get it tore apart. I'll get my parts ordered tomorrow that I need. I'm gonna go home this evening, count up how many left and right shovels I need, count up how many I have, and get the balance coming, and probably bolt. And the rest of it's fairly straightforward. I'm gonna leave that blade for now and just run it the way it is. And because if I'm gonna tear this thing all the way apart to put that blade in it, you might as well figure on putting new bearings in it. So you can see the cylinder's already leaking. But anyhow, I guess that's it for this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one.